saw this post right here, and it was about Nike putting Caitlin Clark stuff everywhere. Putting Caitlin Clark's logo on everything. And I genuinely saw another one, and I'm like, maybe. Hold on, is that Nike's Caitlin Clark signature shoe? And I'm not gonna lie, that I kind of got a little bit excited. Like,
Nike may have accidentally caused a huge mess after the internet noticed what looks like Caitlin Clark's signature shoe before it was officially announced. All it took was one blurry picture and a strange-looking heel, and fans immediately went into full investigation mode. People are now debating whether this was a real leak, a fake distraction, or just another mistake by Nike that revealed something too early.
Caitlin Clark's official signature logo with Nike has dropped. Here it is. Here's what we're working with. But also some big major news here, as you can see from Chloe Peterson on X/Twitter. You got the interlocking CCs. That is a big deal. But look, signature shoe, signature apparel collection, and logo apparel collection all coming in really, really soon. Later this year for the logo, shoe, and signature apparel coming in 2026. What do you think? Do you like the logo? Yes or no?
As Nike started putting a young basketball star's logo everywhere, the internet jumped in and began closely examining every detail like amateur detectives. That mix of heavy branding and non-stop online attention quickly created a very specific kind of chaos.
I'm like 80% sure, if you look at the way the heels is, this might be a running spike, or it might be something. It kind of looks like the KD 6s. Like, I would not be opposed to seeing Nike basically bring back the KD 6s. But that's literally what these... I'm pretty sure it is the... this is the KD.
Nothing gets people talking about sneakers more than a blurry photo and the idea that a huge company may have revealed something by mistake. What began as a simple promo post quickly turned into online chaos, with fans closely inspecting every small detail of the shoe and arguing over its design as if it were a major mystery.
Biggest news that came out of this podcast is that Nike will be adding new technology for the CC signature shoe. But I would imagine for a player like Caitlin, I could see these shoes being similar to the Sabrinas, in a sense being similar to the Kyries, which again, I've talked about this in other episodes, but I feel like the Sabrinas kind of took over what the Kyries were, because the Kyries were so popular. And I feel like a lot of NBA players went from wearing Kyries to wearing Sabrinas. Like if you wear Kyrie or you wore a Kobe, then you're more likely to wear.
The suspicion was simple, but full of drama, because the shoe in the background looked way too important to be there by accident. And Nike doesn't exactly help its case, since the company has a long history of calling things mistakes right after everyone has already noticed them.
Is Caitlin Clark going to launch the biggest sneakers that we like? This is going to be the biggest sneaker launch we've ever seen. Michael Jordan, watch out. This is going to be one of, or if not the biggest sneaker launch we've ever seen. This is long awaited, especially with the momentum coming into the season. The CBA will literally like be everything. That will be like, if they figure this out.
At first, the image didn't look like anything special, which actually made it even more intriguing. The shoe was partly hidden, cropped just enough to make people curious, and angled in a way that seemed either careless or perfectly planned. Sneaker fans immediately focused on the heel, using their uncanny skill to recognize shapes from far away. The back of the shoe felt familiar, almost nostalgic, reminding people of older Nike models that were once everywhere. Many compared it to a Kevin Durant shoe, which sparked debates because reusing an old design for a new star seemed either lazy or cleverly smart. The heel curve, proportions, and stance suggested it might be borrowed from the past rather than a brand new design, making some wonder if this was just a placeholder meant to hide the real release. Nike has a history of playful misdirection, and this looked exactly like the kind of visual trick they might use before a big launch.
Photos of Caitlin Clark's first ever shoe with Nike. This comes after yesterday where Caitlin Clark's logo was revealed by Nike. In the commercial, you could kind of see her first ever signature shoe, which is right here. Obviously, it was a little blurry in the video, but here we can kind of get a good idea of what it's going to look like. It kind of looks like Kobe's mixed with the Devin Booker's. It looks like it doesn't have the best materials, but we can clearly tell this is Caitlin's shoe because her logo is on the insole and on the tongue. Here's an up close look at them. Well, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of her logo? I kind of think it looks like a designer logo, almost like a Chanel, maybe like a Gucci.
As the discussion heated up, a new idea came up. Maybe the shoe wasn't even a basketball sneaker. Its sole and shape looked more like a training or running shoe that somehow ended up in the wrong photo. The fact that a non-basketball shoe could cause so much excitement felt totally normal for sneaker culture, where guesses and drama are expected. Even if it was just a random shoe lying around Nike's campus, people treated it like a sign of something important. Some wondered if Nike might be releasing a lifestyle shoe at the same time as a new signature basketball model, a bold move that could either be genius or a huge mistake. But the more likely explanation was that Nike wouldn't risk confusing the launch. The company usually prefers its chaos to be planned, not random.
Their own Nike basketball signature shoe on the way. And people are pointing out the fact that the 3 active WNBA players who have a Nike basketball shoe at the moment are Breanna Stewart, Caitlin Clark, and Sabrina Ionescu, all of a certain skin color. They're saying Asia Wilson doesn't have one, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, Brittany Griner. They're saying that Caitlin Clark has some type of privilege by how fast she got a Nike basketball signature shoe. Guys, please, let's cut the games. We all knew Caitlin Clark was going.
Once the initial excitement died down, people started thinking more clearly and noticed that the shoe actually looked very different from the others in the photo. This suggested a simpler explanation. It was probably just a placeholder, chosen carelessly, like grabbing mismatched socks in the dark. The laces looked too small, the shape seemed off, and overall it felt temporary, not a showstopper ready for a big reveal. Still, the conversation kept going because Nike has been heavily promoting this athlete. Logos popping up everywhere, collaboration stacking, and marketing ramping up, which hinted that something major was coming, even if the exact product was still unknown. This sudden attention made sense, but also raised questions about timing. Many guessed that Nike was carefully managing its existing signature athletes. Launching a new signature line isn't just about the shoes. It involves long-term investments, contracts, and egos that can't be ignored. Delaying a launch to avoid upsetting others isn't just smart. It's standard corporate strategy disguised as patience.
There's like a couple Kobe's that they have only the technology in like the heel of your foot and not the forefoot of your foot. And I can like tell a huge difference when I play in those. Like it feels like I'm running on hardwood. So like I really struggled to wear those. But for other people, they obviously love them. But for me, it's like, no, I need that technology everywhere. So that's honestly been a huge part of, you know, the process and the creation of the shoe is like it being comfortable and exactly kind of what I need. And the technology that we're going to put into it isn't anything that they've ever put into a basketball shoe before.
Now that the rollout is clearly underway, it feels intentional rather than accidental, as if Nike waited for the perfect moment to reveal all the branding. That makes the idea of a leaked signature shoe even more fun, because it clashes with the carefully controlled story. If this really was the first look at the real shoe, it would be a rare moment of Nike losing control, something sneaker culture secretly enjoys, even while acting outraged. Adding to the excitement, subtle design hints suggest possible collaborations beyond a normal signature release. References to high-fashion partnerships sparked dreams of basketball shoes that once dominated hype culture and resale markets. Just thinking about these crossovers brings back memories of shoes that sold for crazy prices, along with the familiar regret of missing out. The nostalgia is strong, and it also shows that Nike knows exactly how to play on these feelings, even unintentionally. Whether or not a real collaboration is coming, just the idea is enough to keep people talking for weeks.
Out, and it's the Kobe 6 Pro Tro, so you know how I feel about that shoe. And the PE, the collab, the player edition that, you know, the player that's going to be wearing it is no other than Caitlin Clark. So it is the Kobe 6 Pro Tro, Caitlin Clark PE. And again, colorway, it's very nice colorway. I don't think it matches the Indiana Fever at all. Like,
sure doesn't.
But nonetheless, it's a nice shoe. Colors are dope. Again, it has that snake skin textured upper in a light armory blue. And the accents are
In reality, the situation is much less dramatic. Most likely, Nike just used whatever sample shoes were on hand to dress the scene, without realizing how closely the internet would scrutinize every detail. This says less about a leak and more about how hard it is for big brands to act casually. Every photo now feels like a press release, and even background objects can become headlines. When the real signature shoe finally appears, the focus will immediately shift from speculation to critique because sneaker culture moves fast and doesn't linger on anticipation. Of course, the debut might not happen exactly when everyone expects, since organizational decisions, like national team selections, often defy logic. Sometimes, choices seem less about merit and more about loyalty or familiarity, meaning even top players can be left off big rosters without it being completely shocking.
Got it right here. If you are looking for virality, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think we're looking at Caitlin Clark's ad being one of the more viral things we've seen in a long time. Like if you look at the Instagram post on Nike, as far as I'm aware, the Instagram post has like 30 million views, which is, again, absolutely bonkers. Which is bonkers. It is bonkers to see that many.
Even though reality might be less exciting, it doesn't lessen the cultural importance of a signature sneaker. Shoes exist in a world where how they perform on the court matters less than how they look and feel. A sneaker doesn't need to win championships to get people talking, it just needs to look good and feel right. Nike understands this well, which is why its recent women's basketball releases have been so impressive. These shoes perform at a high level while appealing to players of all kinds, and some have become popular not because of who endorses them, but because they genuinely work better than the competition. Debates about which models are best often reflect personal taste more than actual performance. Interestingly, the top-performing sneakers are usually the least flashy, succeeding on function rather than hype. That makes anticipation for a new signature release exciting because it combines cultural impact with real on-court practicality. Even a conservative design will matter thanks to the athlete's visibility, influencing conversation beyond just looks.
At the Nike Studios, which is the Nike headquarters. Now, last time we seen Caitlin Clark or made an epic video about her was when she did the Kelsey Brothers podcast. So Caitlin Clark's slowly trying to keep her brand alive, which I know a lot of you guys has been feeling, basically having mixed feelings about the Caitlin Clark brand, but not me. I'm a supported 130%, and it looked like people at Nike is too, man. So Caitlin Clark shocked the world and appeared at...
Looking back at the original image that sparked all the hype, the shoe still doesn't look like a finished basketball sneaker. Its proportions seem off, the construction feels uncertain, and it comes across more like a placeholder than a statement piece. Compared to the other shoes in the photo, the differences are obvious, showing that it probably wasn't meant to be analyzed so closely. But the frenzy wasn't really about the shoe itself, it was about what it symbolizes in the bigger picture. In the end, the leak isn't a mistake. It's a reminder of how eager sneaker culture is for the next big release. A partially hidden heel was enough to inspire hours of debate, countless theories, and renewed excitement for a shoe that hasn't even been officially revealed. That reaction isn't a marketing failure. It's proof the system is working, whether intentionally or by accident.
You have Caitlin Clark dominating the map, fam. This is crazy work. Okay, this is asinine. Fam, just looking at this, it makes me scratch my head and shake my head at the same time, thinking about how bad the WNBA fumbled this bag. Oh my goodness. Fumbled the crap out of it, y'all. Fumbled it. I mean, ate popcorn before the game, man. Butter fingers. This is crazy.
When the real signature shoe finally drops, it won't need any mystery to sell itself. The hype has already been built through months of guesses and online chatter. The conversation will move on. The internet will find something new to obsess over, and this old image will just be a footnote in sneaker history. Until then, the idea that Nike accidentally leaked something incredible is a fun illusion, fueled by hope, nostalgia, and the thrill of thinking you've spotted the future. Sneaker culture thrives in that space between confirmation and denial, where imagination does most of the work. Nike knows this. Silence can be louder than announcements, and ambiguity can be more powerful than clarity, especially when fans are ready to read meaning into every detail. A vague image, a familiar silhouette, and a logo placed just so are enough to turn a simple post into weeks of screenshots, group chats, and intense debates. What makes this moment so effective is that it sits between inevitability and mystery. Everyone knows the shoe is coming, but no one knows exactly what it will look like. That tension makes every Nike move feel deliberate, even when it probably isn't, and every mistake feel like a perfectly timed tease.
WNBA players are reviving basketball at Nike. We just got a look at Caitlin Clark's signature logo last week. Clark became the third Nike women's basketball player and fifth current WNBA player to get her own signature shoe, joining Sabrina Ionescu and Asia Wilson on the Nike basketball roster. Okay, let's all be honest here. It's felt like over the last little while, nobody was sitting and counting down the days for the next basketball shoe to drop, men's or women's. Then came this.
Nike doesn't even need to leak anything. The internet does it for them. Fans armed with speculation and confidence will imagine the shoe in countless ways, so by the time it officially drops, it will already feel familiar. Expectations will be high, critiques will come fast, and comparisons will be nonstop. This is the cost of being culturally important. Whether the design is bold or simple, it will enter a story already shaped by months of anticipation and accidental hints. The unthinkable part isn't the shoe itself. It's that Nike reminded everyone why this process works. One single image sparked curiosity, debate, nostalgia, and controversy without a press release or a launch date. In today's content-filled world, that kind of organic hype is priceless, proving that sometimes the best marketing is letting people think they caught a slip, even when nothing was actually leaked.